Okay, Bay State running here with Northbridge. Marcus Reilly, the winner of the Division 3A race here at Gardner. It looks like 16-12, 16-15.
16-10, yeah.
Yeah, but a convincing winner, I think winning by close to a minute. But Marcus, talk about the effort today. Went to work right away and won convincingly. But talk about the race.
Yeah, I mean, it was good. You know, I felt pretty smooth the whole way. You know, I knew that Gardner was a tough course, and you know, even like the weather today, the rain, and it was super muddy on the ground. But I just went out, and you know, the goal is always to win, and you know, times come later. And so, you know, I'm pretty happy with the time. You know, considering last week at Rentham I didn't have the best race, and so to come here today and you know, run a pretty solid time and get the win and just move on to states is a super positive thing.
So Marcus, we didn't see much of you at the beginning of the season, but I hear you had an injury. So what type of injury did you have?
Yeah, I had like an adductor strain, so it was a minor strain, but you know, it lingered for a little bit, and so you know, I would train for a few days and then the pain would start to come back. So then I think I ended up taking like 2 weeks off, which isn't too much, but it was kind of during, you know, the peak of my season when I really should be getting some really good training in. So you know, the 2 weeks off kind of, it set me back a little bit, but you know, I'm glad to be, you know, back on route and you know, racing against the top guys in the state.
So last week at the Mooney Invitational, was that your first race? That was your first race?
Well, other than the Swickle meet, and I ran a few dual meets before that.
Okay, yeah, so that was your first in just under 16 minutes, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so how did you feel in that race?
Yeah, that was a little disappointing for me. You know, I knew I was in good shape, and you know, last year I ran 15:24 on that course, and I knew I was in better shape than I was last year, and so it was a really hot day. I think it was 76 degrees at the time of my race, which for me, I struggle a lot in the heat, and so I knew that was going to be tough going into it. But you know, I ended up getting the win, and I got the fastest time of the day, and so I was happy with that. But I definitely knew I had more in the tank.
Yeah. So based on today, and do you feel pretty comfortable with next week at the All-State meet?
Yeah, I am. And you know, the course I think suits me perfectly. You know, I'm really good on the flat, and I know that I can do really well, and so I know the course next meet will suit me, and I'll be looking to go for the win.
So I'm sure you saw Aiden's race here, Aiden Ross. So kind of a rematch of last year's meet. So what do you think you need to do against a guy like Aiden?
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely looking forward to it. You know, he's a great competitor, and he's a great guy to race against. So I think, you know, I'm just gonna stick with him for as long as I can. You know, if he goes out too hard, you know, then we'll see what happens. But I think, you know, tactics always change on the day, and you know, you kind of have to make last-minute decisions during the race. You know, before the race, kind of depending on the weather, you know, the humidity, all that kind of stuff. So I'm just gonna kind of keep my tactics open and just see how the race goes.
Well, Marcus, congratulations today. Good luck next week. It's going to be a good one, but great job.
Thanks.